Trump has won 3 of his previous 4 Champion of Champions semi-finals. Mark Selby has lost both of his previous 2. And as the guys were saying in the interviews, for some reason, even though they're well-established members of the top 4, they've managed to keep avoiding each other in tournaments, haven't played in a big tournament for 3 years.
Yeah, the classic encounter, this one is straight away. Mark Selby. Fabulous pot.
1.
Well, this is already what he was doing, of course, in that match with Mark Allen the other night. Getting in good long ones, making a good break. But what a terrific early recovery pot that was.
7.
Was in this round, in this venue last year. In the semis, he beat Karen Wilson 6-0. And that's
10.
the point. Although obviously they're evenly matched, so you fancy a close match. Either one of them can take control and run away with it. When they played in the Champion of Champions quarter-final back in 2014, it was Trump who won 6-1.
16.
Yeah, it's one of the great fascinations of our sport. The contrast in style. Going about the business out there. Already here, you see Judd, you know, he's knocked in 2 or 3 terrific pots in the cue ball.
Yeah, it's one of those where not everyone was convinced that was going to drop.
28.
But he's looking to, as ever, in any match, but particularly a big one like this, just make a statement early on, show Selby how good he's feeling right from the off, how well he's playing.
2 reds together, get half ball on the low side of it, and then into the other 3. Like that. Brilliant. Brilliant shot. No pace, just using
42.
what was on offer
41.
to separate everything.
So a lot of trophies there between them. Of course, Mark Selby's won 4 World Championships, which is the first thing you look at on
49.
MCV. Mark Selby, who managed to keep things so tight against John Higgins, just made 1 error to initiate scoring for
57.
Trump.
Lads in the studio, myself all pondering what was going to happen tonight. Well, the first
65.
question has been answered. Questioning whether Judd can produce anything like the form of that unbelievable performance against Mark Allen.
70.
A firm yes, this has been outstanding. Brilliant potting early on. And when he got the cannon, you know, the reds in the open.
81.
Precision to finish the frame off, let's hope, with a century.
Yeah, he finished very close to the blue. So it's not a century, but 89. First chance is a fine start to what promises to be a thoroughly entertaining evening snooker. Judd Trump claims first blood against Mark Selby. Welcome back, Mark Selby. I was just watching him there tapping his foot along to teenage kicks they were playing between frames, and he didn't have much to do in the first frame, did he, other than sit in that chair and watch Judd Trump put together that 89 to get the semi-final underway. Best of 11 to play either Ronnie O'Sullivan or Fang Zhengyi in the final on Sunday.
Judd playing it cautious. Got to be so watertight with his safety. There again, you see, really thin. Doesn't want to open the reds up. Oh, now then.
1.
What an answer. That long red, I was in the practice room a couple of days ago.
Mentioned about his tenacity and tactical nous, but the scoring, of course, is there as well.
17.
You know, sometimes they can be so tight that players just don't want to play on it. It's too risky. But I like this table, the way it's playing. Yeah, you've still got to be accurate. see, it was a risk. Ever guaranteed
32.
there to...
Mark Selby. 32. One.
It played for perfection. No, he's not been tempted. He feels that he can pick them off using blue.
7.
But there have been several years in this event where he's double, triple qualified.
13.
Seems to me they're both striking the ball with a lot of confidence so far this evening. You know, you can forgive early nerves, but these
19.
two, I guess they play so many big matches. They're just right into match mode from the off.
Usually brilliant at this shot, getting the revs on the cue ball.
25.
It might not look all that good, but the beauty of that shot, he didn't overplay it. Over ambitious with his cue ball. Didn't
Mark
see that
Selby.
coming.
25.
Missed a long red earlier, but expect him to get the blue.
That's a bonus, isn't it? Or is it? Is the plant on?
One.
Brilliant shot. That is a brilliant shot. I can see the pace, but yeah, change of plans. As I say, the pockets are playable, so leave the cue ball high. Still fancy
8.
the red.
So we caught the
Judd
other one.
14. 1.
It was a bit of a feet wiper, that one, wasn't it? Selby, if he does pop this red, will be relieved. He missed the blue initially, didn't he? That's where his problem started.
7.
But now it's looking like one each.
$13 and a second
Judd
frame.
stays where he is. Mark Selby, as I say, in the end, I think he'll be relieved there to get that frame on the board and to level the semi-final at one each. Remember, it's 6 needed to reach the final. He's spoken so much of how he loves this tournament to get us underway in frame 3. Trump was talking about how he wants certain changes made around snooker the other day. There's no magic wand, I don't think, but one thing that really does put the game on the map is when the best players really produce the goods in the arena. And that's what we're expecting from these two this evening. Seen high quality play every day in this event so far.
Here, bossing this exchange. Appears not, so not pushing it to win.
Yellow ball. Judd Trump. 1.
potting angle, I don't think he can quite get through. He could certainly manipulate the cue ball. Drag with a very right hand side to throw the red wide. Might be worth playing this, not at any great pace you wouldn't think. Or maybe playing the full ball cannon on the other red. Like that. Brilliant shot. Unlucky.
Shot trump 4. 1.
As it is, ball in hands. Trump knocks in a long red.
Looks like it.
I'm just thinking Selby, he's 6 years older than Trump, but he would have seen him at close quarters when they were both younger at Willie Thorne's in Leicester, where of course Selby was based. There were a lot of junior events run there by Malcolm Thorne, Willie's brother, and Trump would make the trip with his dad to play in them most weekends, so Selby would have known about him at the time. And it's early in the match yet, but Trump actually just ahead on the safety stats, 94% to 92.
Seven.
Called upon the reserves of power, but
14. Shot trump
no
14.
joy this time. Well taken. Needs to run.
1. Max Selby 1.
Shouldn't be a problem. He's got one of those, you miss the first one, you get the other one thin. No problem. And there's a lesson there for up-and-coming players learning, and even professional players
Never really any doubt with
themselves.
Selby's.
It's not like they're not capable of doing it. They just, some players don't put enough importance on that side of the game. Judd obviously does. Just can't survive in top level snooker now without a good safety and tactical game. I think going forward, actually, you think of Zhao Xintong, a fantastic talent, we all know that, but because they're that good at this type of thing, Trump, Selby, and the obvious ones, that you can't go out into a match against them and think, right, okay, I'm just going to try and blow them off the table. They don't allow you that freedom. It's as simple as that.
There's room for two, though.
Okay, now Judd's been working his socks off to find this type of position. This is a chance in behind green. Yeah, I'd be mildly disappointed with that, but he would have seen that as a pretty bog standard shot for him to find the cover, and he's got his reward. This is a chance.
1.
This shouldn't really be a problem because the three
No.
reds now that are in the open is all he's going to need. Providing, of course, he stays on pink and black, which
16,
I would
15.
expect him to.
$23.
Well,
31.
and now he needs this black to leave Selby needing a snooker. Hang on. Ooh, he's okay.
39.
And there's a lot of time. And possibly the frame as well, you just never know.
43.
So Trump has already scored well with that 89 in the first frame. Selby on the back foot. He's been excellent in this frame.
Whatever, 10 months or a year where he lost a wee bit of interest now and again, but that's okay to do that because that happens in life and sport, your job, whatever, and looks fully tuned in to everything he's doing out there.
Well, 96% pot success, 93% safety success. Put it together, and it's been a terrific all-round display so far from Judd Trump, who leads Mark Selby in the first semi-final here by 2 frames to 1. Of course, we've not seen Selby since the first day. He was here Monday. He won that group eventually with victory over John Higgins. Well, it's the first long pot he's missed this evening. He potted the previous 5.
Foul in the miss. Shot Trump 4.
Yeah, Judd's bossing it, isn't he, right now? Ah, not this time.
It wobbled and wobbled, but it didn't drop.
This is
1.
where Judd's got to pounce and press home the advantage. Yeah, what he's looking for here is obviously the plant and keep the red over the pocket. Then it's black and the
9.
red above it, corner. And he's got his wish, so maybe didn't have quite enough angle on it, so still work to do.
25. $32. 33. 41.
Yeah, red just needed a bit of persuasion to drop here.
It happened to the best of them, but that gives us a real good insight. We know he's playing well, but it gives you an insight into the confidence when you have that can easily go wrong.
Yeah, the problem's not the scoreline, it's the way it's panned out, the way Trump is shutting him out. He had that half chance Selby, left the red in the jaws of the pocket. Other than that, he's not had that many clear-cut chances, really.
61.
Whichever way helps the pot as far as cue ball's concerned. Yeah, just stun it in. Straight black. That's absolutely fine.
Back in the last round. Hasn't quite got the cluster there, but he's 78 in front with 67 on, so Selby needs 3 snookers. What Selby really needs when they come back after the interval is to get in early in the frame and start doing some damage himself, because he's been kept out. Dangerous in a way, opening the reds like that, because if Selby had got on one and been able to take 4 of the 5 with blacks, take it down to 1, the free ball comes into play then.
Oh. Judd Trump
Well,
7. And
that's the end of that. He's caught the black. Judd Trump on top. As the players head to the interval in the first semi-final of the Champion of Champions, an eagerly awaited match this, and Trump in all departments looking good. He leads Mark Selby by 3 frames to 1.
Safety exchange with the maestro. As David Hendon said just before the interval, Trump excellent so far in all departments.
Yeah, I agree. It was 4 very good frames of snooker. Sometimes a few shots and play subtle safety in amongst it all, and he seemed to do that and win the battle more often than not. Anyway, we've got more of this to come. 2 of the great players of the game, seemingly in good form.
Yes, and I think if he can beat Selby by showing tactical excellence, that gives him an odd of self-belief, a lot of satisfaction.
Saying that has. Looked fairly innocuous going into that way.
You can see from his
9.
score sheet, he's been starved of quality table time, Selby. Nothing like winning a frame with a sizable break, but there's lots of work to do before that comes to pass.
17. $25.
Well, he's unlucky there. He could have been on something more straightforward than it. Yes, and with that, it wasn't that easy to. We got him under tight control. It's actually not so bad where it's finished. This is the pot. Shot. Fraction too far, but he goes to the middle.
37.
He played that well.
38.
Already his highest break of the match, and if this shot goes to plan, it could be a sizable contribution. It should be a sizable
Well,
contribution
up to the bunch that Judd didn't quite judge right. At no point would you have said it was going to be a big chance, but he's made it into an excellent one.
and his interval time on the practice table is being vindicated.
Shots like the previous one. He seems
59.
to just be playing, not worrying about all that. To me, that is a slight change in his game. Anyway, he's not played that one to perfection.
66.
He's nice to notice the pink save. So, despite the fact that he hasn't won the frame, he's played an effective safety shot to enhance his chances of winning it.
Selby's safety was his prerogative, refusing the red, but he needed to play a more telling safety than that. And what's more, the bonus of getting the pink out.
5.
He gave him the option to try and nudge the other red out, which didn't quite
6.
work out. Well, if that cannon had worked, he would have been favoured in the frame, would you believe, from here?
Shot 11. 1.
If he had missed the jaws there, the cue ball would have come out. Well, see, he didn't take the green because he could have only tied the frame with the green.
Shot trump 1.
Played the biggest of big shots there, and he got nowhere near it, quite honestly. In that little exchange there, a couple of times he tried to find a way of getting the frame one from a clearance. Ball didn't quite run for him.
9.
Selby will be relieved that it never amounted to anything.
17.
Sometimes sitting alone, sometimes chatting with a friend is the best thing to do when starved of table time. Get out there, knock a few balls in, loosen up the cue arm. That's what Selby did. He made a 66 break, and eventually he crossed the line. So Judd still leads, but now only by a single frame. Interesting note here, Neil. Judd defending the title, of course, when he lifted the trophy last year in this event, and he's halfway to the final.
It's not really very easy to do things like that. The prestige that goes with being the champion of champions. It's kind of nice we've got these big hitters, and we've got Fan Zhenyi in the event still, who doesn't qualify in that category yet, but he's here in the semi-finals. He probably can't believe that he's in such exalted company, but he deserves to be.
These two have met in 3 previous semi-finals, and Trump has won them all. A low-profile PTC event 11 years ago, European Masters in Romania in 2016, and the International Championship in Daqing, China in 2019. He won that one 9-4, played beautifully, made 3 centuries. I think he's relishing this, you know, going toe-to-toe in the tactical department with Mark Selby. I think he's into it.
One.
9 reds below the black spot. So 40 would be a fair enough break here, I think, where they currently stand anyway.
15.
Now, with an angle on this black, he just could play in such a way to... He's gone the other way and he's done nothing. I'm a little surprised there.
Now, that didn't stretch the imagination too much, but Selby really is an extraordinary shot maker. He sees shots
30.
that others don't.
Not much
Mark
shifted
Selby,
there.
32. 32.
Useful play and a very good way to end it. The cue ball, as is customary with Selby, glued to that ball cushion.
One.
Playing it with a trace of side though.
Six.
Make it sort of almost round the pink.
Fourteen. Mark Selby, 21.
Thought he played the previous shot. Open up the whole table, and he's not over the line by any means. Yes, the table's difficult,
But they could open up in one fell swoop. Get the wide contact
9.
and the whole complexion of the frame could change.
Yeah, and making it even easier to pop by just shifting it along the cushion. This is where he really does need an angle on his
16.
next colour. Oh, now then, we are potentially one big shot away here from being right back in the frame.
25. 24.
Still got the red pushing away from the other two reds though in potting it.
31.
Keep the red alive here. Got a really easy shot on the blue with the pink and black in the way of playing the cannon. Amazing, isn't it? You can finish there on that shot. You're going to finish there more often than not,
35.
even though a little bounce off the cushion is perfectly on the red. I think he's got to consider himself a bit unlucky to finish there. Kept himself in the frame.
Yeah, I think despite his best efforts, he was unlucky on several occasions in that break. Not more so than his final positional shot.
You look at the table and you think, well, it's obviously advantage Selby, but he needs both of these reds as well. It's not as if there's only 18 in front now, so and as you can see, everything else is out in the open play. As much as that man. He's going to get the frame one. And as you can see, everything else is out in the open play. Well, that's, I think, why he played it the way he did. He's left, I think, a free ball.
Mark Selby 5.
It will be a free ball, I'm sure.
And a 3 ball.
And that changes things quite a bit. But that red was so close to the cushion that the safety had to be very thin. And that's why Judd ended up missing it altogether.
Mark Selby 6.
And nothing really for Selby to do other than playing in simple containment.
Get distance here. Trump, surely he can get the cue all away from there. I'm not sure whether Mark played a shot that would be in keeping with his tactical brilliance that we see of him. So he's played that shot very well, in fairness. And Buck is leading the way in this exchange. That's what you talk about, just taking the points and running. Now, of course, it has to be a respot for Judd to win this frame.
6.
With the red and the black and all the colours.
Mark Selby 6.
And you always sensed after that one he was
Into control.
asking for trouble, Neil.
It's worked out pretty well, I think. You can get between the yellow and the brown or not. So this is a big moment, I feel, in this match. Judd getting in a snooker, in which he hit it, of course, maybe on. Interesting way of playing it. A little bit in the way now of getting back and around for the yellow.
Judd Trump 8.
Apart from the clearance, that was the next best thing.
Foul and a miss.
How about that? Wow, I tell you, that makes a difference
Trump 4.
that the cable didn't go in there.
2.
Oh, dear me. Dear me.
Five.
I wonder if it might be Mark Selby's day today, because I feel that Judd is sitting there thinking that maybe the
Mark Selby.
rub of the green has not gone for him
5.
this evening.
Selby's had some subtle good fortune, but there was
4.
nothing subtle about that yellow. That was just an outrageous fluke.
On the pink to tie, 6-point penalty.
9.
Was it even one? And that's not the one. That is not the one. Selby will
Shot
drop this over the top left pocket, or better still, in the top left pocket.
And the flame.
What a frame, what an epic duel that was, decided in the end by an extraordinary turn of events. The fluke yellow followed by the green from distance. 3-3. If you look at all of the stats between these two, Trump has the edge. 7-5 in matchups. Total frames now, including tonight, 62 for Trump, 45 for Selby. We know, I mentioned before, Trump's won all 3 of their semi-finals in the past. He's won their only meeting in the Champion of Champions. And in terms of centuries made in their meetings, he leads 19-10. The only stat that Mark Selby holds the edge in, when it's gone to a deciding frame, he has won every time. 3 out of 3.
He was always behind in them both, but I feel that he could have stolen
The one thing
perhaps one
Selby
of them.
hasn't done in this match
7.
yet, with the exception of a 66 break in frame 5, is to score.
8.
Mind you, Trump knows from bitter experience that scoring against Selby is no guarantee of success. Twice, Trump has made a 1-4-7 against Selby and lost the match.
One.
Yeah, but even from the pocket cam you get the
7.
impression it certainly should have gone in. Wow, that's a great split. Well, that won't make Mark Selby feel any better. Lots of swings and roundabouts, twists and turns at this game, aren't there?
21.
They'd be happy with that. Want to get away from that red on the left cushion. Just thinking about that, the last shot there, the brown that Judd has spotted. I've got a feeling yesterday we saw a brown ball into that pocket also bounce out. I believe it was Rob Milkins.
33.
Who hit one quite hard, I have to say, and it bounced out of the top left pocket in a similar fashion to the black we saw.
There's 1 or 2 venues in your area where that happens far too regularly, but
42.
it shouldn't happen in the semi-final of the Champion of Champions.
50.
That was not a good shot from Judd. He didn't pot it cleanly, and as a consequence the cue was... It's never been quite in this break, but it looks as if it doesn't matter. It looks as if that will not be a factor in
55.
making the
6.
important clearance or the important break.
Well done.
62.
Yeah, it's been a good effort actually. Some of the other
69.
players, even the man in the chair, not Selby. You know, he's not Ronnie
70.
O'Sullivan, cue ball. He's such a great potter. shot maker. It doesn't always matter. When he won the world title, that was a feature of how he played in that final against John Higgins. And I think after the Selby bounce out, this is a significant moment. Judd will feel a lot better than he did at the end of the previous frame.
Foul. Mark Selby. 7. Judd Trump. 83.
Marcel Lecomte
Do you
waiting
concede?
for Mark Selby to concede.
Yeah.
He
Frame.
has done eventually. So the ball bounces out. Trump bounces back. He regains the lead at 4-3. And I think Trump's done the right
The
thing
eighth
to go
frame.
out and
Mark
leave
Selby.
Selby there in his chair stewing. Not be thinking about the yellow that he fluked in frame 6. If he did think about that, it might ease the pain.
Well, that was a little bit out of kilter with his...
One.
Just appeared as if the cue ball was going to head into the middle of the bunch and be buried in there.
That brown was a pressure shot. And now it could pay rich dividends indeed.
14.
And he thinks it's on because that's why he's played on it and not headed into the bunch of 7 reds. Yep, kind of went in where he thought it was going to hit.
$28.
Almost back to that situation where his brakes are marginally out of position, but it just marches on, doesn't he?
44. $52.
Well, we've mentioned it a few times.
60.
Fear of repeating ourselves, one shot has turned this match again. This time in favour of the man at the table. He's not over the line yet. That man is probably still thinking about...
68.
I think, though, Trump is good value for this lead. He's made the 4 highest breaks of the match in unprecedented fashion. It was his reliability
75.
in amongst the balls when he had scoring chances that was the major issue. And it seems to have returned.
Maybe we'll get one here.
$83. 91.
So far, we've had 16 here this week.
Yep, the shot was always there. Beautiful. You can see one here correct to that list.
99.
He played so well in his previous matches, especially the Mark Allen game. He's almost unplayable. Going to follow up with another big win. And that was the first century of the evening.
104. 105.
Yeah, what a shot. How many cushions? Let's just count them. 5. I make it. Brilliant shot.
112. 114.
Judd Trump moves to ahead with a possible 3 to play. And he's playing beautifully. It's going to be a really tough task for Mark Selby to get back into this victory and a place in the final of the Kazoo Champion of Champions of 2022.
Judd Trump to break.
After rallying, Trump will want to finish this off as quickly as possible. 95% for Judd Trump. Pot success rate. That is hard to beat. Although, when he beat Mark Allen the other night, even in a 6-1 defeat, Allen's pot success was 95%. His stats have just improved there.
1.
A lot of reds to cover up on this shot.
Judd Trump 1.
He's played it well enough. I think the right hand red he can get to, but even then it's not a particularly inviting table. Mark Selby comes to.
Who would have thought that when Mark Selby defeated Shaun Murphy 18-15 to win his 4th world title in early May 2021, that 18 months later he would still be waiting for his next appearance in the finals.
It's just a fantastic shot, it really is, because like I say, he was in a spot of bother, and now he's absolutely bang in the balls.
Now it's just minding his work.
7. $14.
Typical of, I think, Judd Trump's style of play, that he wouldn't be overly bothered that he's not
19.
got
20.
access towards the black.
He's okay right-handed, Judd Trump,
27.
but when he's got to play with pace, that's when he's a little vulnerable. He's not as good right-handed as Ronnie O'Sullivan is left. Let's put it that way.
Judd Trump 27.
Well, they see it. They see it. Do you think, well, that was a
1.
bad miss, but then all the things that go on in the snooker player's mind. That's always second prize at this level. You might think, yes, he's got him in trouble, but it plays in more trouble when they're sitting there watching their opponent close out a match. And that's the only consolation for Selby, is that he is coming back to the table. Great effort. Brilliant effort. But you'll get a chance to play it again a little better, because it's got to go back.
Oh, and a miss.
Things safe.
Judd Trump 4.
So that's why the miss rule exists. Great effort, this.
Oh, and a miss. Judd Trump 7.
Going back as well. And the points at the moment are okay, but of course if he keeps hitting the black, then you know you're...
Foul, and a miss. Judd Trump 7.
4 attempts, 4 valiant attempts, but nevertheless a quartet of fouls and 22 points. That's right.
That's something that makes you happy. That gentleman that said, "Come on, Mark," before he played that last one, inspired him. I doubt it somehow.
1.
Not now, you're right. It was a tough fault. And Trump is clearly in to win.
The next few days, even if he does win, but I can tell you one thing, he's definitely playing a lot better. It's the first real sign from Judd this season since the World Championships, where he got beaten in the final by Ronnie O'Sullivan. And the signs are the work that he's been putting in is paying off. He's playing well. No doubt. Blue in, there's too many in it. By a point, he takes a lower value colour but gets on red. And pots the red, then it's definitely over anyway. We know that Mark Selby can get the snooker, so you won't be thinking he's won yet, Judd.
Judd Trump 17.
Some flickering embers of hope for Selby, the great escapologist.
Frank conceded. Frank on the match.
Hope has been extinguished. We're always looking for turning points in these matches. There's no doubt where the turning point was tonight. It's 3-3 Selby, potted at black, it jumped out of the pocket. And from that moment on, Judd Trump took charge and he was in total command for the rest of the contest. Judd Trump into the final of the Kazoo Champion of Champions with a well-deserved 6-3 victory.